Hi, and welcome to this webinar. My name is Knut Askim, and today I'm going to give you a brief overview of the asset management module in WATS. Before we look at the possibilities within WATS, let's cover the topic of why asset management is important. Wear in test equipment may affect the test result. Without maintenance, test probes, connectors, and other fixture parts will fail. Electronics and measurement circuits change over time and may affect the test result. Calibration must be done at specific intervals to assure the quality of measurement and prevent failure. In addition to tracking maintenance and calibration interval of assets, we can add additional valuable information on the assets. Where is it located? What is the current status? And in WATS there are several options to select from to keep the status up to date. What is the age of the equipment? When was it first seen? And how many times has it been used? For monitoring assets in WATS, we use 4 different parameters. We have the running count, the number of runs between calibration or maintenance, the total count, where you can define the number of runs allowed in the asset's lifetime. We have the calibration interval, the number of days between calibrations, and the maintenance interval, the number of days between maintenance. Now, let's go to the control panel and define some asset types. Start by pressing Asset Types and then New Type. Add the type name, choose a fitting icon, set the counter limits, calibration and/or maintenance intervals, and at the end select the warning and alarm thresholds for the asset you are defining according to your internal routines. Let's have a quick look at an asset type we are going to be using later. I have a DAQ asset type where I set the calibration interval to 365 days. The warning threshold is set to 95% and the alarm threshold to 100. With our asset types defined, let's move into the asset manager. This is where we add our assets. To create a new asset, we are required to add serial number and asset type. Adding name and location makes the list of assets easier to manage, but let's go ahead and look at the test station that we've already defined. We're going to look at the WTS 3010-01. Now, I've added the name, I've added the part number, the serial number, and the type is set to ATE. The current state is in operation, and the location is set to the Rinko headquarters. We can also see that the test station was first seen on November 23rd, 2021. Now, this test station has several assets, including a key site DAQ970A. Looking at this asset, you can see that we've added the serial number, the type is set to DAQ, and the state is currently set to in operation. And at the bottom, I've included a picture of the DAQ. Moving to the Counters and Limits tab, we can find the same 365-day calibration interval that we defined earlier, and it has been assigned to this asset. The running counter, calibration, and maintenance intervals can be reset from the control panel, but it is important that the reset is done according to your internal routines. Using the Assets Manager is not the only way to configure assets in WATS. Using the WATS REST API, you can create and update the assets by connecting your existing systems. This way, you can maintain your assets in one place and keep them synchronized across all platforms. Back in the WATS control panel, we enter alarm and notifications and select New Rule. We will name the alarm and add a description. The type is set to asset, and in condition, we've added the asset name WTS 3010-01 and the status warning to receive a notification when the asset's usage or interval reaches the warning threshold. In this example, all managers will get an email notification when the threshold is reached. There are assets defined in WATS. Now let's have a look at how to update the counters when running a test. The first option is to use an API, and you can use the client API or the REST API to update the running counters directly when executing a test. Well, this method requires a connection with the WATS server, and that's whether it's hosted in our Azure environment or on premises. And it also allows for querying the WATS server for asset statistics prior to executing the test. The second option is to include the asset information in the UUT report. In the WATS add-on for TestStan, the UUT container contains a property called asset info. The LabVIEW toolkit contains a new sub-VI function, WATS TDM asset info, and the WATS reporting formats supports adding the asset in the header. In all these methods, we add the serial number of the assets used and the usage count. And regardless of which way you choose to update the asset usage count, it's important that the count is equal to the number of times the asset has been used during that test run. When opening the UUT report in WATS, you can see that it includes the asset statistics at the time of the test execution. In the dynamic yield report, we can add the asset name and asset serial number to the columns. Now, let's do that by clicking on column options and checking the boxes asset name and asset serial number. Now, as you can see from my example, I've dragged asset name at the beginning, but I want the yield sorted on part number as well. So I have asset name, part number, serial number, test operation, the number of units tested, the number of units passed in the first run, and my yields displayed. Well, that was it for now. Thank you all for joining this webinar. And if you'd like to get started using the WATS Asset Management module, please have a look at our support sites. And if you have any questions, just drop us an email at support@virinco.com. Thank you all. Enjoy the rest of your day.